Hey, and welcome to Trail Trials, the video review section of iRunFar.com. My name is Travis Lyles, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Hoka One One Bondi B. The running shoe industry has definitely favored its investments in the minimal, low profile, natural, low to the ground feel in the last few years. And we've specifically seen that trend very much in the trail running world. Except for in the Hoka One One. This is the Bondi B edition. This weighs in at 11 ounces. It has a 4.5 millimeter drop. And the stack height is rated at 35 millimeters on the heel and 29 at the toe. So what we're going to do is get up close and personal, look at the shoe, look at its midsole, look at the traction, talk about how it performed on various types of terrains including trail, nice easy rolling single track, technical, as well as road, and then we'll come wrap things up at the end. We'll start off by talking about our outsole. So the outsole is definitely road specific, and this shoe by Hoka One One is listed as a road shoe. However, I felt it did admirably across pretty much anything I threw at it. So felt fine on the road, as you would expect. On technical rocky trail that was dry, no issues in terms of grip or being able to catch onto something or climbing. I did have some issues when they were wet, coming out of a creek crossing with very slick ground on the other side. They really didn't do much at all, though most shoes aren't going to help you out a ton in that situation. But these definitely, with such a low profile outsole, did not provide really anything at all in terms of traction. You have two different types of tread patterns on here. These orange ones look more like a little paw, I guess would be a good way to put it. And these are slightly harder than these white ones. The white tread that you can see are these larger sort of stop sign shapes. This is a softer compound, so a little bit harder on the toe and the heel, which should be in most cases your highest areas of wear, to a softer foam here with the white or rubber, and then none on the inside of the shoe. So if you are a neutral runner, this tread pattern is pretty much set up for that. As you can see, it does have some scuffs and some scrapes from trails, but overall the type of stuff that I ran on being sharp limestone, these things came away really well without having a whole lot of wear being shown. I'll transition here to the heel, because if you look at the way that this shoe works, it sort of rounds itself back. And Hoka talks about on their website that this shoe has this sort of rocker motion to it. And this heel adds to that, and actually the whole midsole in general adds to that. So let's talk about the midsole. The midsole has 2.5 more times the normal cushioning of your regular road running shoe. So this has 2.5 times more cushion. So think about that in terms of how much cushioning does it have. And it uses 30% softer foam. And that's the one thing you'll notice. As soon as you step down in this shoe, you can go stand on top of a root, a rock, just some sort of obstacle, throw your keys on the floor and stand on them, and you'll notice that you don't feel much of it because the obstacles or the items sort of sink into this shoe, which is a really interesting feeling. But as time goes on, really adds a lot of confidence, and you'll find yourself bombing downhills and the such in these. So if you look around the whole body of the midsole, you'll notice that there aren't any things like a pronation control. There's no cage, there's no post or anything along those lines, just foam. And that's the point of it. Now you'll think this ride height is really high, I'm gonna feel unstable, and there is a bit of that. However, the outsole of the shoe in this part here is 25% wider than most shoes, so you have a very large piece of surface area. And again, if you were thinking in traditional sense of a shoe, that might scare you away because a wider shoe might not fit in such of good areas. However, because this midsole reacts and sort of sucks up the ground around it, you hardly notice that it is wide, or it's just surprising how well the shoe rides despite visually what it's going to look like. Now when we move to the upper, This shoe again is a road running shoe, but I felt this thing fit very nice and tight, fit to my foot really well. In terms of how it fit versus a lot of road running shoes. A lot of road running shoes have just a lot of mesh, so when you're doing downhills or you're braking or you're doing side-to-side movements, your foot moves around a lot in it. This shoe has these white overlays all over it, which sort of wrap the foot all the way around, so you get a nice wrap and a good feel. And then in the black parts of the shoe, mesh, so it breathes well, it drains well. As you can see, that mesh goes all the way to the midsole, so the water has a path to go out. So I felt like this shoe breathed well, it fit my foot well, and then you've got lacing options up top if you need a tighter close on the heel or a looser close on the heel. Around the heel to wrap in. On the back you have a full heel counter, so that is in there. It's not hard plastic, it is somewhat pliable, but it's there. And then you have a slightly padded collar. This shoe does have a removable insole, so I guess if you wanted to wear orthotics with these, you could fit them in, though I would say that that'd be a lot of support and stability in that, but you could do something along those lines if you're someone that likes orthotics. You have a relatively good toe bumper, again, for being a road shoe. So this shoe rides higher, so you're going to catch more of that grit or rocks or roots or whatever you might kick with the toe of the shoe. But if you do go past that, you do have some of this hard kind of nylon or fake leather up here in the front that's going to break some of that. So overall what you get is, yes, a road shoe, but definitely something capable of trail that you could wear pretty much anywhere. So to wrap things up, this shoe is way better than I thought it was going to be. When I looked at this shoe, I really thought it's big, it's bulky, I'm not going to like the feel of this. I just didn't want to, I guess, believe in it, and I will say after throwing everything at it I could that I am in fact a believer in this shoe. This shoe handled really anything I threw at it. There's some caveats. It's higher off the ground. To me, it felt less stable. I don't have that ground feel that I normally like. Not that I'm a minimalist person, but I do like riding a little lower. It doesn't transition as great as something you might find in a road shoe, but overall, for the things it doesn't do well, it does one thing really well, and it adds cushion, and I felt aided in recovery, or at least aided in the amount of impact that my body felt over the long haul, and I really noticed not feeling as beat up. I even threw these on at the end of very big volume weeks for me, and wore these as my last run of the week to really get a feel for it, and over again I felt better than I did wearing my normal shoes that I would have worn for that. So I do think that there's definitely something to this amount of cushioning. So with that, any questions or comments, place those below the video. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.